Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flights in 2024. So today we're here at London Gatwick and we're doing a short flight over to Alicante in the Airbus A321. So as you see, boarding's just commenced. We're on the Jet 2 A321 today. Pretty much everything's all set up, ready to go. Like I said, we're just getting passengers on board now. We've already had a walk around the aircraft, everything is looking good from that point of view, and then we shall get going. So we'll jump up into the flight deck, hopefully it'll let me up the stairs today, and doesn't throw me on the floor.
90840, that was extremely quiet. You calling for push and start?
Destination, but hopefully that should be all okay. Today's fuel, 8.9 tonnes, which is just being boarded now.
Welcome aboard this Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays flight. Please move along the cabin aisle and choose the correct allocated seat number that's displayed on your boarding pass.
let's have a quick look at the weather information for here. So London Gatwick today.
Underneath the seat in front of
I can
you,
find the weather, that is.
leaving larger cases to go into the overhead
Airport
lockers
weather, here we go.
provided. If you do need any further help or assistance, please
So
contact
latest
your boss.
weather
Thank you.
becoming
Very warm welcome on board.
2804 knots. I'm guessing it's disappeared for a minute. So Thames radar's just come online. I don't think that we will be impacted by that. I'll take a look. So currently there's no ATC on at Alicante. Let's have a look. Oh no, Thames is just for London City.
Place all carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you. That's all small items underneath the seat in front of you, leaving larger cases to go into the overhead lockers provided. If you do need any further help or assistance, please contact your on-board crew. Thank you. And once again, a very warm welcome.
So it sounds like the control times wonderful. That's in the box. 7577 is in the box. Board is now completed.
Got the ground evening, Boeing
AP is now online. We'll get the bleed air on.
Unit
And we'll come off the
Unit 1019 off.
external barrel.
Edinburgh, please.
Boeing 327 Gatwick ground, good evening. Cleared Edinburgh, Lambourne 1 Zulu departure, 1455.
So then guys, we'll get pushed back from stand in a second. So cockpit prep, gear pins, comes removed, fuel quantity 9 tons of fuel, seatbelts on, ideas are all nav. Parif 1019. So before start, parking brake is set, takeoff speeds on thrust 155, 155, thrust 56. Windows and doors closed, beacon is now on.
Locking gear.
Channel 97 ready for push and start.
Channel 97, stand 67, push and start.
Push start approved, Channel 97.
Gatwick ground, Griffin 1 Yankee.
So we just double check the direction.
Juliet.
Just let it
Griffin 1 Yankee
think about what
Zulu,
it's doing.
Gatwick ground, hello, welcome. Taxi stand 22 via Juliet.
Oh, please don't tell me GSX has died on me.
1 Yankee.
Hopefully not. So, could just be waiting a second.
Wisgo 9840, once the British Airways A320 pulls into stand 22, taxi holding point Juliet 1.
Hopefully we'll get ourselves going in a second.
Juliet.
So, continue pushback. And we want to be facing Southern Quebec Alpha, which is correct.
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes released, clear to push.
British Airways A320
All engines clear. Start at will.
Start seekers can be 1 and 2, starting at 1.
Juliet 1, runway 08 right via Juliet.
Cabin crew now stores into automatic cross check on a call, please.
With 1 on outside 108 right and taxi by Juliet, and we'll wait for the company. 908.
Wisgo 9840, it's not a company, it's British Airways.
British Airways.
Gatwick ground scanning 68 Zulu, very good evening. With you with information on my comboard, we request parking private destination Manila is 5.
We're nearly ready for takeoff, but before we go, you'll need to make sure that all mobile phones, tablets, and other electronic devices are in flight mode.
Aircraft type is an Airbus A319 Neo at stand 563.
I say flight time today is 2 hours, so we should be hopefully on the ground at about 22:09, depending on how long it takes us to get taxied out.
So we're here for our destination Manila via the
Engine
Lambo
1 available.
departure and squawk 2050 QNH1019 for scanning 680.
Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted on board today. For your safety, please follow instructions. Please now make sure that any hand luggage is safely put away and your seatbelt is fastened ahead for takeoff. And ladies and gentlemen, we'd just like to tell you about our friendly
Starting two.
together policy. We've created it to protect you and our cabin crew from any
Are you able to
unfortunate
access the
antisocial
Odvic
behaviour.
2 Zulu
Plots 1.
That way we can make sure Has a great flight.
Flaps
As a part
2.
of this, please remember that you can only drink alcohol that is served by our cabin
You're
crew.
cleared to Cologne.
If you have bought alcohol in the terminal, please
Brake set, clear to disconnect.
we want all our customers to enjoy being on board together. Thank you for listening.
7602. Information is Mike, QNH 1019.
Gentlemen, we're here to ensure that you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Therefore, we would appreciate your full attention while we take you through our safety features on board this Airbus.
3367, correct, and I've put the routing from Oddvic
This
to Dover
aircraft
in
is equipped
text
with 8 emergency exits, 2 at the front and 2 at the rear of each cabin section. They clearly marked with head signs, and you'll be able to exit on
Good evening, 2408 on Lima requesting taxi CV active.
Engine 2 is available.
Disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Will illuminate as being indicated.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Lima Gatwick
Please
ground
AP can come off.
stand by for clearance number 1. I'll call you back very shortly. Break.
Your
Blue line
seatbelt
2408, taxi
fastened.
holding point Juliet 1,
Just
runway
said.
08 right via Papa and Juliet.
Demonstrated.
Juliet 1 via Papa and Juliet, Beeline 2408.
After start, anti-air's not required. Econ status is check pitch trim 0.7 up. Rudder trim is neutral. Flight controls, full up, full down, neutral, full left,
Adjusting the
Lima.
full right.
Place your plane.
Neutral, there's the pin.
Before placing anyone else.
Full left,
Your
full
life jacket
right.
is located
Boeing
within the
327,
seat.
stand
Now we
552,
will show you
question
how
start
to
cruise face west.
the events of landing.
So we can expect taxi pretty much is probably going to be Quebec Alpha Lima Sierra, hold point Juliet 1 for departure. I
For
would
the
imagine.
tape around your waist and buckle in front. For the tape fabric. To inflate, pull down on the red tab.
So let's start taxi.
If your life jacket should fail to inflate, you blow into the red shoes. Your life jacket should only
Channel
be
97
inflated
ready for
once
taxi.
you are outside the
Connect
aircraft.
97, taxi Quebec Alpha Lima Sierra, hold short Juliet.
There is a safety card located in the seat
Quebec
pocket.
Alpha Lima Sierra, hold short
Please
Juliet.
study carefully.
97.
Thank you for your attention and thank you, cabin crew.
for departure.
Flight deck.
The cabin is now secured for departure.
Thank you. So cabin secure and off we trot. So taxi checklist, flight control check, flap setting config 2. Radar predictive wind shear system, hopefully it's on and auto. Engine mode selector norm. And you can remember to take off the booth. Just do a quick brake check. Just bring a seat forward as much as well. So then hopefully everyone is well this evening. Feel free to say hello in the chat. What was your plans for this evening? So we're down to the bottom here, and then initially at first right. Got an aircraft just pushing back, as we can see there. And then right onto Lima, then onto Sierra past the de-icing area, and then holding short of Juliet is where we're cleared to at the moment. We'll probably get some more clearance once this other aircraft has passed the area.
Station calling, it sounds like you're at Heathrow. If you are, contact Heathrow ground 121.905.
One thing we do need to consider, so Sierra's all the way down to the bottom, is we need to make sure we've got 122.8 in the box. We'll make sure we're taxiing for a start. 122.8. So we're at 6 knots, and we could go slightly. This aircraft just out of the way. Obviously, still some work ongoing here.
EG3367 request push and start.
Easy 3367, stand 101, push and start approve face west.
So now we continue straight down onto Lima, which is straight ahead. and then basically around the bend.
367, take your squawk please, 7602.
Saying my squawk 7602, sorry about that, EV3367.
This controller is always really lovely. I don't know what his name is. Dan Nix is his name is. So he's very, very friendly.
Boeing 327, taxi holding point Juliet 1, runway 08 right via Lima, Sierra and Juliet.
Taxi home by Juliet 1 for 0.
So we'll get ourselves airborne, and then feel free to fly through the
Boeing
comments.
327, confirm Lima, Sierra and Juliet.
So we're not going to be any content for over a week now, because tomorrow I
9840,
disappear off to Lanzarote myself, so
Decimal 8, bye-bye.
so next left here.
Beeline 2408, nothing further, monitor Unicom 122 decimal 8, bye-bye. Beeline 2408, nothing further, monitor Unicom 122 decimal 8, bye-bye.
Unicom Beeline 240, thank you very much, sorry.
So we're only cleared to Juliet.
7, continue taxi, holding point Juliet 1, runway 08 right via Juliet.
Continue taxi Juliet 1 via Juliet, Channel 97.
Can I confirm that my squawk is 7602, EC3367?
EC3367, affirm.
Thank you, and you cleared me for push for EC3367?
EC3367, affirm, face west.
Face west, EC3367.
So the next right here, we're looking on the left hand side, it was nice and clear. Next checklist to run is the lineup checklist. So it's a pack soft departure today, but we'll leave them on just for a few more minutes because there's going to be a little bit of a delay getting out. It's a couple of aircraft in front of us, so give it a little bit more thrust. Hey Polly, how we doing? And we are on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Cheers for the follow, Henry. Thank you so much, mate. So we increase our taxi speed a little bit up to 30 knots ideally. We'll get passed across to Unicom frequency in a second. Let's get rid of the packs. Like I say, we've not really flown the 321 very much, so a bit of a bash with it tonight. So you've got to be careful of that tail. So there's an aircraft on the radar that we can see at the moment. Don't know if he's inbound to Gatwick, I don't know. So yes, he's inbound to Gatwick. So that could become an issue for us, it may not be. See, just keep an eye on him on the radar. They've got 2 aircraft ahead. I think there's one lined up at the moment.
Channel 907, nothing further, monitor Unicom 122 decimal 8, bye-bye.
Over to Unicom 122 decimal 8, Channel 97. Have a good evening, bye.
Gatwick traffic, Ryanair 23, Quebec, Mike, now inbound.
No, PC, mate. On the PC.
Willow.
Sorry, Ollie, I was just concentrating, mate. Gatwick traffic, Channel 97 on Juliet, on point Juliet 1 in sequence. So he's just departing. There's a Whizzer, he's off. The logic, since they've updated with the Phoenix, it's so much better on the ground. So much better. You're new to the game, is there any difference between... Yes, it depends on how you look at it, Ollie. So there is a big difference. So PC is better for flight sim. There's a lot more add-ons. And extra aircraft. So this is the Phoenix A320 that we're in, which is very, very accurate.
Gatwick traffic down Air 376 commencing base turn for ILS 08 right.
Chances are we're probably going to have to wait for this aircraft inbound. We'll see how we get on. So yeah, I would always go with PC if you're going to choose between the two. PC definitely. Xbox is better for VFR flying, I would say. It's not very good for like main airliner flights. It depends on what you want to do with it, really.
Gatwick traffic, B-line 340 departing runway 08 right.
So I'm gonna probably wait for the next aircraft to come in. Just gonna quick look to see where we need to be down here. So I'm gonna follow this round for the time being. So it's a fairly light aircraft, hence why he's on quite a small base turn. So London Gatwick for takeoff, runway confirmed 08 right at Juliet 1. Config 2, TCAS TARA. Now, PAX 1, 2 both off.
Traffic speed was 196 Echo, clear for 09.
Heathrow. So this is Juliet 2. We're clear to Juliet 1.
Gatwick traffic down Air 376 on a 9 final, ILS 0 right.
Gatwick traffic, Channel 97, holding point Juliet 1, awaiting incoming traffic.
Gatwick traffic, B-line 340 fully departed from runway 08 right. Safe landing.
So just going to halt here. So the parking brake is on. And we're pretty much ready to go.
Air 376 is currently 7 miles from touchdown. One aircraft can go ahead if they wish.
Yeah, no worries. Channel 97 line up for an immediate departure. Just done that. So parking brake released. Let's get ourselves going. Line lights on. Take that. Gatwick traffic, Channel 97 departing 08 right. Let's get ourselves around. It's a bit messy, this is. Right, let's get ourselves lined up nicely.
Gatwick traffic, Boeing 37, taxi and hold.
Right, take off.
Juliet 1.
Manflex. 56, express runway auto thrust buoy.
Gatwick traffic down Air 376
100 knots.
on a 4 final, ILS 0 right.
Way off the centre line, yeah. Way off the centre line, it's not very good. V1, rotate. Bit messy, that is. Very, very messy. Positive flanker up. Nav. Gatwick traffic, Channel 97, passing 500 feet. 08 right clear.
Thank you, and Gatwick traffic down Air 376, short final, ILS 0 right, 2 miles.
That was a very sketchy landing, that was. Very, very sketchy land. Sketchy takeoff.
Gatwick traffic, runway 23. Quebec Mike.
Yeah, so Ollie, I'd suggest, mate,
I'd
definitely suggest PC over Xbox any day of the week. So thrust, climb. Flaps 1. Flap 0.
Gatwick traffic UZ51 Bravo Mike, following the Ryanair on final, Gatwick.
AP1. Packs 1 and 2 both on. Don't know what's going on with my throttles today. Oh, I know what's happened. I don't think we've realigned them since the update, because they made a couple of changes. That's probably what's going on here.
Traffic,
you can do commercial flights on Xbox, it's just not as immersive as it is on PC. Like I say, you get a lot more add-ons for. So this is the Phoenix A320 that we're running here, which is an add-on aircraft, which you cannot get on Xbox. So it depends what you want to fly.
376 vacated, runway 0 right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, stay seated until the seatbelt signs have been turned off, and please buckle up when you're in your seat.
Traffic 237 taking off.
As things might have moved around. Don't forget, smoking and vaping are not allowed in any part
So,
of the
6,000.
Our cabin crew
So we've got another aircraft in front of us.
in-flight service. Take a look at our tasty menu. We've got a little bit of offer, so see what takes your fancy, and we'll be with you soon.
So it's less than 5 miles, 800 feet. See if we can spot him. Where is he? Who knows? So yeah, there's a bit of a sketchy takeoff that was. But there we go. So initial line 6,000, and then we will go to, once we get to Seaford, we'll then start climbing to our cruise.
Taxi in Charlie, Juliet, Papa, and Kilo, stand 32.
Right. So we're 15 miles from Seaford. Got a speed restriction currently at 250 knots until we're above 10,000 feet. Pretty much
traffic,
now we're going to be flying.
Mike ILS runway 08, 5 miles out.
Flying pretty much straight over, sort of over the channel from roughly just east of shore, and we'll be going overhead. And then over to France, and across France, and then down into the Spanish, along the Spanish coastline, into Alicante. Like I say, apologies guys, it was not the best of takeoffs. I think because it was just rushing a little bit. That was the problem. Like I say guys, we have got an overhead panel that is on its way at some point in the near future. So we'll fly the procedure for now, and then we'll climb to 370. Do you have PC then, Ollie, or do you have both?
Gatwick traffic, runner 23, Quebec, Mike short, final runway 0.
Obviously, double check the specs with PC before you actually buy it. Make sure you can run it. The Xbox will run it well. So not many of you on this evening, but there we go. So we can start considering our climb now. 370. We'll go manage, so we'll just pop it, push in. And then once we get past this restriction, we can then climb. We'll have a good look for the optimal for today's flight. So optimal is actually 350. So it may be worthwhile actually going to 350, and then we'll change our cruise level to 350. And we will go from there. Like I say, guys, if you've got any further questions, feel free to ask it. I'll try to answer them if I can. Thank you for the 3 new follows. Cheers, Ollie, for the follow as well. Thank you for Flight Sim for the follow as well. A few of you on YouTube and Twitch as well.
Alpha 251 Romeo Mike on a 5-mile climb of 08 knots.
So they're going to start our climb. Let's see how we go there. Beautiful views over the UK tonight. So you notice time-wise, it's actually dark in the UK at the moment. So I've brought the time back. It's around 1500 in the afternoon here at the moment. So we've got 767 miles left to run. And like I say, we should be on the ground at 1729 UTC, whatever that works out. I think so. It'll be about 8:29. Sorry, 10:29 UK time.
Ground, regular.
So at the moment, there's no other ATC online that we're going to cross paths with. However, that could all change as we know as we're flying across. Certainly making good progress. So QNH standard is set. So approaching 9,000 feet. So it's been 20 minutes since we left stand and 7 minutes since we have been airborne. So 9,500. $10,000 feet, landing lights off, and release the cabin. So there's no decent weather that's an issue towards this evening, I don't think. Pretty much well clear of it at the moment. Should be a fairly nice flight. Across, may hit a little bit of turbulence when we get into French airspace. Chances are we are actually going to get some ATC, so let's have a look. So Paris control we're going to be going into shortly. So we'll get that tuned 128275. We are hoping to get a radio at some point. Like I say, I've just ordered this overhead, so it'll be a little while before we get to that point. There's a couple that I've found that I quite like the look of. So there's a couple of custom buttons as well with the Java simulator overhead that's been released. So they have been assigned. So I've asked if they can be engraved, and they said they can engrave it for the same price as well. So we're going to have the additional button of the elect pump, which is not on there, and also the isolation valve as well. Just because that's something that we turn off quite routinely if we're not got animals on board. Hey Brandon, how are we doing? Hopefully everyone is well. Had a fair few views on the old TikTok again. So feel free to give us a like and a follow as well. So the weather's actually looking pretty good. Shouldn't be too drastic. What we'll do, we'll give the first officer the terrain radar, and he can keep an eye on that. Looks like the over open ocean at the minute. So we should be top of cruise overhead by now. And go from there. So we're going to be a little bit cheeky. We're going to go direct extract, and just a little bit of a shortcut there. There's no other aircraft around, so it shouldn't cause any issues there. So that'll be that's right. It's pretty much as we into the as we into French airspace, shall I say? So we're not too far away from it. 44 miles. Chances are what will probably happen once we speak to French airspace, they will probably give us a route direct somewhere in their region. Like I say, they'll notify us in a minute to contact them. So there we go. That's our point 2 contact control, parameter control. On to 8275, yep. Tower control, Challenge 97, climbing flight level 350 inbound air traffic.
Next 97, Paris, bonjour, identified, climb 370, direct to Sopil.
370 direct Socket.
An easy 65 uniform Zulu. Thank you
Sopil.
for that. We are now going direct. Charlie Lima Mike.
So he's told us to go direct Sopil, so that's what we've selected here. I was just trying to find the waypoint. And that's pretty much straight to the bottom of his airspace, so that's giving us a nice overhead direct as well. So we should be top climbing at about 140 meters.
66 Tango Quebec, correct Tango Kilo, sorry, descent flight level 100.
Descent flight level 100, 66 Tango Kilo.
Alright, so this is the Yankee GA at flight level 36 inbound Bravo Romeo Yankee.
So he's put us back on our new
Easy
cruise.
flight Yankee Juliet, hello identified, proceed direct Bravo Romeo Yankee.
See direct Bravo Romeo Yankee, easy for Yankee GA.
Yeah, use this solder, mate. Yeah, it should run that fine, mate. Shouldn't be a problem at all with running that. I was just thinking. So I run a 4070, and it runs it fine. And obviously I stream as well. So depending on what you're doing with it, the only thing I would have a look at, some. I know a lot of people moan about AMD cards, but for bang for your buck and performance wise, you can get equivalent of like a 24GB card for the same sort of price, which may be more beneficial. Depends on what obviously you're gaming with. If it's just flight sim, you'd be better off probably with the AMD one. There's plenty of reviews online to sort of get your teeth into as well. And like benchmark tests and things. It depends on obviously all your other spec as well to have our support. So typically flight sim is very GPU and CPU heavy, and as long as you've got a decent amount of RAM. So I have 64GB of RAM, and it's a fairly old CPU I've got now. It's the Ryzen 7500X3D, so it's the Ryzen 5 chip. But it seems to run it fine. I don't have any major issues. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. You're not going to get like 100 frames a second with it, but it doesn't seem to cause me any issues really, but hopefully that helps. So then, what are we at? 23,000. And the weather's looking a bit of rubbish, isn't it? It's not much going for us at the minute. Let's have a quick look in the back. See how passengers are getting on. Oh. We don't have any passengers. That's unusual. Normally we have passengers. Let me guess, there's a new update for GSX. That's probably why. There's not many aircraft in Paris control this evening, which is unusual. Very, very unusual. So yeah, so apologies guys, there's not going to be any videos for about a week or so. Well, just over a week.
Hello from the 170 fly level 3 and hello, we'll send us to the ALC London right now.
1020, hello identified.
Few clouds coming past us. Oh. I forgot to change the view on that. There we go. So I don't know where the cabin crew gone. They've
66 Tango Kilo, contact the Gaulle approach 121.155. Good.
115, 6 Tango Kilo.
I do struggle a little bit understanding the French controllers.
121.155.
Correction 121.155.
So pretty much we are going to be going down pretty much the whole length of France really, and then down into Spanish airspace. Pretty much following down the coast overhead Benidorm and Valencia as well. Then we'll be further down there. Yeah, so Intel Core i7, so that should be fine. 5070 GPU, 32 gig of DDR5, yeah, that should all be fine, mate. Yeah. Yeah, so I run at 1440p, I don't run at 4K. I could run at 4K, but I don't, for that reason. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem, mate. You shouldn't have any issues with that. You should be pretty alright with that. Like I run about 60 frames a second, so I have an AMD GPU. So Flight Sim uses something called AMD FSR3, which basically is like it's to do with frame generation. Obviously, the 50 series have frame generation built in natively anyway, so you shouldn't have an issue with that. And you can just use frame generation from the GPU, so that shouldn't be a huge issue for you this evening. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. It depends obviously what you want out of it. Is it sort of commercial flying you're doing? If you're flying like fighters and stuff, it may struggle a little bit more just because of the speed of things, but typically for this, like, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it runs alright. There is a little bit of tear in it at times. What joystick do I recommend? Well, there's only one joystick really. If you're going to fly an Airbus, that is.
Alright, good evening, Griffin.
So if you're going to fly Airbus, I would highly recommend getting the wing joystick. It depends how much money you want to spend. There are more expensive ones which are better, but to be honest, for Flight Sim, for the amount you actually use it, I personally think the wing's fine. I wouldn't go with a Thrustmaster after owning a Thrustmaster. The quality is not as good as the wing one. To be honest, when you start buying wing joysticks, you'll start buying more stuff, I can assure you.
Negative direct Bazo,
obviously we've got the LCDU from Wing, we have the FCU from Wing, EFIS from Wing.
Maybe spell it one time again.
So rudders aren't Wing, they're Thrustmaster ones, but when the new ones are released, we will be purchasing them. Yeah, so hopefully that helps you, mate.
Ouais,
Ren, so we're doing.
Bonsoir France 88, X-Ray Alpha pour séparation, descendez 320 et l'arrivée Ardold 9 Echo pour Orly.
320.
Check with the French.
Control Lufthansa 1124.
So I'll look at the company message, it'll just be a flight plan.
Station Lufthansa 1124, hello identified, proceed direct Ranux.
Direct Ranux, Lufthansa 1124.
Yeah, like I say, I've just ordered an overhead panel as well, so when that comes, it should be a bit better. Steering on this. Yeah, that's the thing. To be fair, you will span that. it depends on what you're going to fly, is what I would say. So if you're going to just stick to flying Airbus, then fair enough, just stick with Airbus stuff. We've just literally released a new throttle that's fully metal. I've not obviously got that at the moment. I haven't ordered that, and I don't plan on ordering it any at the moment, mainly because it requires like a pedestal setup, which is not ideal for my particular setup. But there we go. Hey, Lona, how are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us this evening. So we've got a bit of a crosswind, 65 knot crosswind at the moment. Here's in a 321.
1020 for spacing, descend level 370.
Thought we'd mix it up a little bit tonight. Instead of flying with EasyJet, we were flying with Jet 2, and as I'm flying with them literally tomorrow. There we go.
Order 1020 for spacing, descend level 370.
That wasn't to me, I don't think, was it? I wasn't really listening. So I'll climb into 370.
Order 1020 Paris.
Order 1020, go ahead.
FM, turn right, caution, descend flight level 370 immediately for spacing. Order 1020, descend level 370 immediately for spacing, please.
370 immediately, I was setting, sorry for that.
Thank you very much.
And Microsoft Flight Sim.
88X Alpha, direct
no, it doesn't. You will get a load of planes with it. So what I'm running here is the Phoenix A321. So Phoenix released the A320, and then they did an expansion pack which includes the A319 and the A321. It's like £70 UK pounds, but it's certainly worth it. It literally runs so well.
Easy 16 Zulu, hello.
That would be my suggestion. Depending on what you want to fly, there is Boeing obviously out there, which is done by PMDG. There is also the A350 that's available through Inibuilds. I've personally not flown that. I don't really have many intentions to fly that either. We pretty much just stick with the 320 family at the moment. We are waiting for the Phoenix team to release the Neo. So they will be releasing the Neo soon. So we're still climbing and not quite at our cruise yet. So personally, I've just stuck with the standard version because I don't fly any of the extra planes, really, or the native planes. I do occasionally fly them, but not very often. So yeah, we've just gone with the standard edition this time. Last time I did go for the next one up. Personally, I don't think there's any value to it. You'll see a lot of the airports that I use on the channel. They're all add-on airports anyway. So Gatwick's made by Inibuilds, and I'm trying to think who makes Alicante's. I think it's from Contrail Store. So personally, I don't see the value in it. Just go with the base model, but it's entirely up to you what you want to do. Depends on what you're going to fly, really. Sorry, I've missed on TikTok here. Got about 3 chat boxes to look at. Not always. Depends on how much chin working's going on, mate. Do sometimes sit here for 3 hours straight, but not always. Just it varies how much chat. Sometimes I go and do the housework during the flight as well. No, it's mate. It's not a problem. No problem at all. So it's pretty mundane really at the minute. There's not a great deal going on. Like I say, we are under price control at the minute for a little while. It's a shame we haven't actually got any. There's no one currently on the ground at Alicante. We're expecting runway 10. It's a fairly small airport, Alicante. I don't know if any of you guys have ever flown there before. So there's 50 stands, I think. So it's live weather, but the time is shifted further forward because obviously UK time it's like 8 o'clock at night here. So that's the reason. Because I get a lot of comments. Is the main reason, Jack. Basically, people say, "Oh, I'm fed up of always landing in the dark," because typically most of my streams are in the evening. Just due to work and also due to having more people on during the evening, especially over the weekends.
Paris Control, hello, Air France 1687.
So yeah, that's pretty much the reason behind it. Don't get me wrong, we do completely live flights, but we'd normally just bring the time of day back a little bit.
Bonjour, cleared on the BBUX 9 Echo, descent flight level 260.
Then you get to see a little bit more as well, because there's any problem when it's dark. You don't really see.
Okay, we're cleared on the BBUX 9 Echo arrival, descent and maintain flight level 260, Air France 1687.
Cheers for the follow, mate. So for you loading me as well. Oh, you're on the way back from Alicante. Whereabouts are you flying to, Jack? So I actually fly from Stansted tomorrow morning to Lanzarote in real life. So like I said, there won't be any content for about a week or so. Oh, Manchester, nice one. Decent. I don't mind flying into Manchester Fair, and quite often there's usually ATC on as well, which is pretty good. The only thing I do hate is if it's really busy, like an event or whatever, you could just never get sorted, couldn't you?
Paris, bonsoir, à France 71, Fox Juliette, on vient de commencer la descente, on passe le 3.
So we're going to craft, where is he? Oh, he's miles away from here. 10 miles away.
Air France 71, Fox Juliette, Paris, bonsoir, l'arrivée V19 Echo pour De Gaulle, descendez niveau 150.
V19 Echo, niveau 150, Air France 71.
There he is, you can just see his stream there. It's nice sometimes when you pass someone a bit closely. So we're nearly at our cruise 370.
France
So we're not
1687,
flying
level 100.
to Alicante for a long while, to be fair.
Descent flight level 100.
What we can do though is we can have a quick look at our landing performance as well. So expect from runway 10. Just refresh the meta to see if there's any change there. So 150 knots at 150 degrees at 4 knots. 25 degrees Celsius, nice and warmer. QNH 1017. We'll have a quick look at our landing weight on our sheet here a minute. Let's have a quick gander at that. So landing weight's 69. So based on a low water brake and reverse, how to reverse, we use 2,000 feet. All depends on whereabouts we want to vacate. So typically we normally vacate at Sierra, Charlie 2, which is about halfway the runway length. So anyway, medium is probably going to be more optimal for us.
Direct Davy, Air France 71, Fox Juliette.
Hey Paul, how we doing?
Paris Centre, bonsoir, Alpine 14 Zulu Charlie.
Alpine 14 Zulu Charlie,
So,
Paris,
pretty
bonjour,
much
I need
that's
you
our
on another
cruise.
level. Can you accept level 350?
AFM, we can accept 350.
Alpine 14 Zulu Charlie, climb for level 350 and proceed direct DDAC.
So 17.
Alpine 14 Zulu Charlie, direct DDAC, climb level 350.
Climb flight level 350 and direct DDAC, Alpine 14 Zulu.
So we've got about an hour and 20 minutes left of the flight. And we've been live, what, just over an hour, so there we go. Certainly been a few more people following us on Twitch. Apologies, my Twitch account looks very lapsed, to be fair. Just not really had much time to do anything with it. And for those who are on TikTok, I'm guessing the top bars are presenting okay. It'll be a nice landing. It's not always a nice landing when I've flown it, to be fair. What are we digging for? In-op systems. Cargo vent heat. Surely that's because I've turned the isolation valve off. So that's a normal thing. So I don't know what I'm worried about. Do you have any builds? Is it any builds Manchester? Is that out yet? I know they're certainly making any builds Manchester, aren't they? I do have some scenery for Manchester, but I can't remember what exactly. Oh, excuse me, you ordered already.
On a pas 230 il sera top.
So, approaching
88 X-Ray, descend à
37,000.
niveau 100.
Au niveau 100, ça.
I suppose it's a fairly mundane bit of the flight, really. Not a lot really to be seen. We will have a look just to make sure there's still no ATC en route.
Air France 71 Fox Juliette avec De Gaulle approche 121, 155 au revoir.
So once we get to Suffolk, which is in about 40 miles, we'll be out of controlled airspace and back to Unicom.
Oscar, GT Echo Tango, bonjour. Oscar, GT Echo Tango, Paris, bonjour. L'arrivée Matix 9 Echo pour De Gaulle. Arrivée Matix 9 Echo pour De Gaulle. Oscar Echo Tango. Oscar Echo Tango, correct. Maintien niveau 150. Maintien niveau 150, Oscar Echo Tango.
Paris, EZ16 Zulu, crest 2 minutes out of the cockpit.
EZ16 Zulu approved.
Thank you.
So 56 knot tailwind currently. Flying slightly skew with, but too drastic. So fuel remaining, so we should have a little bit extra fuel, hopefully. Fuel prediction, so we've got an extra hour's worth of fuel post alternate destination, so it's only 17 minutes. So we could consider burning a little bit more, increasing our speed a touch. At Mach 0.8. Yes, fine.
Car CZA for Yankee Juliet, mic check.
It's for Yankee Juliet, I read you 5.
So then, see how we get on. I'm a little bit nervous about this landing though, to be fair. I always get a little bit nervous landing the 321. I think just because it's quite a
Sorry, apologies, say again.
chunky aircraft. Stresses me out a little bit. But we'll certainly be recording the landing. Not so much the takeoff, because that was a dreadful takeoff. Let's see how we go. So any minute now, we've got 20 miles until out of their control zone, but there's no other aircraft around, so chances are he's probably going to hand us off a little bit earlier. So there's not many at all in the outer airspace.
Air France 1687, contact De Gaulle approach 121.155, goodbye.
Say again for Air France 1687.
Air France 1687, approach 121.155.
121.155, thank you. Air France 1687.
So we're near Lemage, and then, like I say, be pretty much flying just west of Barcelona shortly. Just sort of tracking down the side of the coast, over the top of Valencia, and then down into Alicante. So it's not a hugely long flight, to be fair. A couple of hours. Not like my tomorrow's going to be 4
Griffin
hours.
5 extra kilo, report your Mach number.
We are Mach decimal 78, Griffin 5 extra kilo.
Griffin 5 extra kilo, Mach decimal 78 or greater.
78 or greater, Griffin 5 extra kilo.
Griffin 6 Papa, Mach decimal 78, no more, no less.
So
Griffin 6 Papa, maintain Mach decimal 78 exactly.
Now wants to speak to him.
And easy 16 Yankee Zulu on frequency.
Can you repeat for easy 16 Yankee Zulu?
Yeah, 16 Yankee Zulu, report your Mach number.
0.8 at the minute, mate.
Easy 16 Yankee Zulu, Mach 0.80 or less.
820 or less, easy 16 Yankee Zulu.
And confirm your Mach 0.80 or 82.
80.
Just so 80 or less.
Perfect, 80 or less, easy 16 Yankee Zulu.
Oscar Echo Tango, direct Devim. Direct Devim, Oscar Echo Tango.
Any second I should get handed it over to Unicom again. At least had a little bit of ATC on the way. It's better than nothing, isn't it? So we'll give him a couple of seconds and we'll just request a frequency change. Crash control, Channel 97 request frequency change.
Channel 907, monitor advisory 1228, good night.
Over to advisor 1228, have a good evening. Channel 97. Good. So over to advisory now. There we go. So this is where we can be a little bit cheeky because there's no other ATC on. We could probably try and streamline that out a little bit by instead of making that left hand turn go direct posse. And just to sort of get us in a fairly straight line. That should reduce. That's reduced our time by like 4 minutes. So pretty much near the halfway point, 150 miles or so. And so we can have a look at the optimal as well. Now he's got us to cruise. So optimal is actually 360. However, we can't go to 360 because we need to be on a even flight number. Sorry, on flight number. So we'll just have to stick at 370. So what's everyone up to this evening? Is anyone doing anything overly exciting or not? So I'm going to disappear for a few minutes, get off a drink, and then we'll be back with you in a few minutes. So take care, and we'll see you in a minute. Right, guys, back with you. So, what have we got? What's changed? Oh dear. What's going on there? See, lots of planes. So, 1,000 feet, 10 miles. So, what we'll do, we'll have a look, see if we can see this other aircraft. It's only 1,000 feet above, so chances are we probably will see him. There he is. If you can just get a glimpse of him. Just a quick glimpse. So I've got navigation, terrain, pretty much overhead with that. So then, let's have a look to see where it thinks we'll be at. So it thinks we'll be at, so top of descent is in 330 miles. The outside air temperature is minus 55 degrees Celsius. So at Posse, we should be there at 1644. So about 30 minutes then from where we are at the moment. And then by that point, we're pretty much along the coastline, and then out down to Alicante overhead Valencia. There's a little bit of rain overhead Valencia at the moment. But other than that, we should be pretty good to go. Like I say, when we do get the overhead that comes, it does have lights that are built into it as well, so it has LED lighting built into it, which will be quite handy for nighttime flying as well. It just may mean we need to change our background colours and things. So welcome. If you're new to the channel, feel free to give us a like, comment and subscribe if you're on YouTube, or give us a follow on TikTok. I've been trying to grow this channel gradually over the last 6 months or so. Certainly get a lot of interesting questions and a lot of interested people as well asking different things. Typically similar questions normally about what sim we're using. So we're using Flight Sim 2024, and we are pretty much well, we're always always 2024 now. Pretty much always flying the Phoenix. Normally the flying the 319 is usually our favourite, but sometimes the 321 as well. My co-pilot's just chilling out, so like I say, we're overhead late in mainland Spain at the moment. As you can see, we're just sort of tracking south or west at the moment. Apologies, no, we're not in Spain at all. We are still overhead of France at the moment, so we're just going to the southern edge of France at the moment, and then into Spanish airspace. Like I say, currently there's no ATC online for our landing, which is a little bit of a shame. Overhead the Canary Islands, there's plenty of turbulence over the UK at the moment as well, which could mean my flight tomorrow may be a bit bumpy. Like I say, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. Try to answer them if we can. Hi Penners, how we doing? A few new followers here on TikTok at the moment. Like I say, I appreciate it. There's not a great deal going on at the minute, so it's just a case of checking it out and seeing how we're going on. We have installed the scenery actually to the hard drive as well now, so that's one of the beauties of the new sim update feature. How long's the flight? So we should be on the ground in approximately an hour, about an hour's time, I would say. So it's about 2 hours flight time, and then the extra 30 minutes is obviously setting up and departing Gatwick. So yeah, air time is about 2 hours. So at the minute it's estimating we'll be on the ground at 17:21. Obviously I appreciate that it's not UK time at all, and obviously this is the current time 16:19, so literally bang on an hour pretty much and we'll be on the ground. It may be a little bit less than that, depends if we can get a couple of shortcuts in as we go across. So there's not a massive amount of shortcutting that can be done really. It just depends if you can cut a little bit of the procedure off for the ILS for runway 10 at Alicante. Like I say, we're going to be using order rate medium for landing. We can take order rate low, but it will use pretty much most of the runway length. So we'll go with medium and then we'll try and vacate it a little bit earlier as well. That'll get us on to stand a bit quicker. So hopefully that answers that for you, Ollie. Yeah, like I say, it can be a bit mundane really. So we've got another company message that's appeared. It's probably been there ages to be fair, probably just noticed the AOC menu. So let's jump down onto, I don't know if we've set this up actually. Look. There we go. So if we go to the AOC menu, then we can go to receive messages, and we've got Chanex ops. So and there's no delay code required for today's flight. What we will do though is we are going to see if we can get, well, we won't get the 80s, but we'll get the latest weather for Alicante. So pop Leo in there into the ident box. We'll click yes for the meta, and then we'll click send. And it's just a case of waiting for that to come through. It doesn't normally take too long, a couple of minutes, and it should be with us. There's the message. So meta for Leo 130 at 3 knots. Varying between 100 degrees and 160 degrees Cavite, 25 degrees Celsius, 20 and QNH 1017. So what we'll do with that information is we will now go onto the plan. So what we'll do is we'll go back onto here onto the performance page, as you can see, and then we will go to the next button and another next button, and that will go to the approach page. So we will now pop in our approach figures. So we know the QNH is 1017 hectopascals. We know the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. And the wind is currently 130 at 3 knots, but we'll have another look at that as we get a little bit nearer. Transition level is 0.75 typically. And that gives an approach speed of 139 and a landing speed of 134. So what we'll do is probably do an approach speed of 140 knots. Just gives an extra knot there. And the next bit of information is to put the barrow in. So the barrow is to do with the flight plan. So what we'll do is we'll jump back over here and we'll have a look at the tablet. And what we're interested in is not the side stick fault. We are interested in looking at the landing chart. So if we click to start on here, it should have all the charts. So typically be an ILS Zulu approach. Yankees, very unusual, but so as you can see here, we've got the approach chart. So there's a few things that we need to take into consideration. we've got a lot of high terrain around this area, so 4,000 feet, 2,000 feet in the land that we're going to fly. So this is the area that we need to be most worried about, is this 3,400 feet, which is the reason why this glide path, if we look at it, so you start at 5,500 at delta 18.0, so 18.0 is here. Let's try and just give it a different colour. Yeah, so 18.0 is here, and that refers to this mark here, which is a 5,500 feet restriction on the heading of 100 degrees, which is pretty much the same all the way down. And then at 13.9, which is at this part here, we want to be at 4,200. At 9.5, we want to be at 3,300. And then from there, that's where we can intercept the ILS for the approach. So what we're interested in, so we're talking about the baro, so that's the barometer. So this is to do with your minimums. So there's two ways you can put minimums in. So there is your radio minimums and there is baro minimums. So typically what's highlighted is baro minimums. So these figures here. And it's also known as decision height. So that's the point you make your decision for landing, for those of you are not aware. So there's a little bit of an interesting approach path for this runway. Typically most airports have a 3-degree pitch. However, this airport, as you can see, runs a 4-degree pitch, which is there. So basically we'll descend at 4 degrees instead of 3 degrees. And the Alpha, Delta, Alpha Bravo, Charlie Delta stuff here, that all relates to what the visibility is like. So today, because it's nice day sky, we've looked at the weather information. There's nothing indicating there that there's going to be any problems. The visibility is 9,900 feet, so we don't have an issue with our visibility. So if we have really poor visibility, say 550 meters is what the RVR is, runway visual range is what that stands for. Basically you can work on the category based on the visual distance. So if the RVR is 1,300 meters, then you would have to perform this. Okay, but it goes all the way to A, B, C, D. So ALS stands for automatic land assist, so you'd have to do an auto land in this situation. So if it was that foggy that you couldn't see to that point, obviously we can use alpha because the visibility is good, so we can use the minimum of the minimums, and the minimum decision height, which is going to be 392 for us this evening. So hopefully that makes sense to those of you that it's a little bit difficult to explain. Like I say, I'm no expert for some of this stuff, but just some of the stuff that we look at for landing. So circle to land is not authorised at the north of the airport here, so we can't do a visual approach and circle to land with that. If I'm honest, we'll do an ILS landing as per usual, and then we'll disconnect and go with a manual flight. So hopefully that explains a little bit. We'll have a little bit more of a look at the charts shortly, and then I'll explain what we're going to do after landing, where we're going to taxi to and things. So let's jump back to the MCDU. I'll jump to the performance page, and I've already forgotten the figure that it had given, but I've got it open in a different window here. So 392. So in our barometer, in the baro is 392, and sometimes it will give you an option there for radio minimums as well. So you can use either. And now to make sure that's all working and it's gone in properly, you will now see it. Oh, I would have thought you'd see it on the PFD, but maybe not yet. Maybe it's because we're not at that next stage of flight, but eventually that will show on the PFD. That's why it's asking me a flaps full landing. Thanks, Twinox. I do try and explain things reasonably well, mate. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but there we go. Ooh, let's just get rid of the pedal for a bit. So other things to look at with the approach chart. We're just going to have a quick look. So it's just a frequency, just come online. Just want to make sure it's not going to interfere with our flight, which is not. Oh, there it is. No, so that's not going to impact us at all. So let's move back to this whilst we're flying. Let's give a bit of an explanation. So this is the ILS chart. So typically you'll always normally use ILS Zulu first, unless ATCs specify you're using ILS Yankee. The only thing it really changes, it just changes the procedure slightly and different heights and decision heights. That is literally all it changes. It does not change anything particularly. But typically you normally will use a Zulu approach for most airports. Like I said about this, so let's look at the top here. So 80s frequencies are all on here, Valencia control, all these. These don't particularly apply for VATSIM unless there's obviously all these frequencies online, which is very, very rare. The next thing here is the localizer frequency, which is 110.3. The beauty of the A320 is that it does that automatically, and you do not need to basically program this in. So if I actually look now, if I go to RADNAV, sorry, and we'll have a look at our secondary frequency, 113.9, hopefully. Oh, that's not actually the right frequency either. 110.9. So you can put that in, it will pick it up manually. It's probably because we're too far away from it in the minute, because it's picking up a VOR rather than the ILS, but typically it will show in that RAVNAV box for that. When you're a little bit close to the approach. The final approach course is 100 degrees, so you could set the course heading to 100 degrees. Typically on Boeings, they normally require you to put all this in manually into the course as well. So the 3300 bit, that is at the point where the ILS antenna radar starts. So that is at the point where you intercept that. Decision height, and it says refer to minimums. So, and that's where it refers to minimums, which is down here. Airport elevation is 142 feet above sea level, and then the runway elevation is also the same. So the airport elevation can differ to the runway elevation. So the runway could actually be higher or lower. It just varies with that. This little chart here is talking about MSA, which is the minimum safe altitude for the VOR for that airport. And it basically says which side of the airport is safe. So we've got 7,200 feet on one side of the airport, 3,000 feet, 3,500, 6,100. So it's all based on the terrain data. So this is the thing we're most important about, is the missed approach procedure. So every chart will have a missed approach procedure with Navigraph. And so basically, if you mess your landing up, you need to know it. Typically the Airbus will follow it automatically itself, but it's good to just know roughly what you're doing when ATC, especially if ATC is online, can make things a little bit more tricky. Typically they will vector you from there anyway. So it says here, so missed approach procedure, climb to a heading of 100 degrees, so straight align with runway heading at the moment, to 3.0 D, which means, so that means a 3 DME after the runway. And then you make a right hand turn to intercept and follow Romeo 125, which is 125 degrees, as you can see on the chart lower here. So that shows nicely there. There's me showing my mouse, but you probably can't see that, but this part here. And then it says climb to 4,000 feet here. So that's what you do, climb to 4,000 feet and then join a holding pattern and then contact ATC and they will follow from there. Sometimes there is another procedure on here, so if you have a radio problem, it will then display, but hopefully that will explain things a little bit better. Like I say, I'm no expert in explaining these charts. It's took me long enough to learn how to understand them myself, to be honest. The other thing we will look at, which we'll be following shortly, so these are the local VORs. So 113.9 is what we're currently tuned to, which isn't none of these at the moment. So this is the STAR, which is the Standard Terminal Arrival Route. So this is not a very detailed one, in fairness. So this is all relating to the minimum safe altitude, this big circle here. Yeah, this big circle is basically referring to the minimum safe altitudes. Obviously, as we come in, so we're going to have a look at our flight plan, and we're going to come in overhead Calais, I believe. Or are we? Let's have a look. So Valencia. So we're coming from Valencia, so we are going to be following this path here. So from Valencia, and that's a restriction of flight level 100 at Valencia, which we need to be. And because the line's underneath it, that means we need to be above flight level 100. And that would be because of Valencia Airport, which is just here, as you can see, it's just marked here. So we're going to follow the approach and the star. So we know that we are doing I think it's a Valencia. What was our star for today's flight? It was a... Oh, I don't know what it was actually. Don't even know if we put it in, you know. Let's have a look. No, we didn't even put it in. So we're expecting ILS 10 Zulu. Let's pop this in. Something we didn't do actually, thinking about it. So ILS 10 Zulu is what we are going with. And we are using the VLC transition. ILS 10 Zulu. ILS Zulu 10, yeah, that's fine. Right. Our star, so we want a Valencia 3 Lima arrival. And we go down to 3 Lima. And then we want to be via the VLN 1 transition. I think we chose on a VLN 2 transition. So if we go onto the plan mode on here, hopefully this will show nicely now. So this will show us the route that we're going to do, which pretty much follows in with where we should be. We can also turn constraints off for the minute. So we'll insert that into the flight plan, which that's all inserted now. So back to the chart. So yes, we're going to be following this route here from Valencia Airport all the way down to here. So this is the Valencia 3 Lima, which is what it specifies here. And it also specifies on the side of that airway there. Like I said, we're going to follow it down this line to Valina. And then we're going to, that is when you then move over to the next chart, which is the ILS Zulu. And obviously you can see from Valina here that we will then follow this transition, this arc all the way around. Obviously being mindful of the terrain. Then after landing, so this is our ground chart for those of you that don't know. So just doing this to pass the time really. So this is our ground chart. This gives you the 80th frequency at the top here. It gives you the Alicante clearance frequency, the tower frequency at, the ground frequency, and then the tower frequency is there. So just have a quick look, so we seem to be bobbing about a bit. Make sure there's no other traffic. So inbound posse, we've got 63 knots crosswind at the moment. But there's nothing really that we need to do there. Got a little while yet until we're at top of descent. So, like I say, so this is the ground chart. It gives you some nice asterisks. So obviously this is a no entry point. So Charlie 2 that we was planning on going off, we can't actually go off at Charlie 2. That's a no-go. So we're probably going to exit at Charlie 4 realistically. It tells you the runway length here. So 3,000 meters long or 9,843 feet. Gives you the runway heading. Talks about the VOR, and these are the runway lights. These are where the PAPIs are located on this point here. So they're on the right hand side of the runway. Windsock is here on this side of the runway as well. And talks about this is the handover point between the ground controllers and the tower controllers. So typically we'll exit at Charlie 4, then we'll make a left hand turn onto Charlie 3. And then basically you go take ourselves to stand. Just having a quick look, we seem a little bit wobbly. It seems a little bit bumpy at the minute. Just make sure there isn't any particular turbulence. Let's go into skizzlers. Might pop the seatbelt signs on for just a couple of minutes, just because it's a little bit bumpy. I don't know if we look out here, it's aircraft certainly popping about a bit. It's a nice views though. Really, really nice views this evening.
Captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seat.
So it's a little bit turbulent. Just a touch. like I say, we're bobbing about a bit, but nothing we can't deal with. And so the weather's actually quite good. There's not really anything really to report. So yeah, that's a little bit about the ground charts, and then you can get to parking stand charts. Obviously, you can't see the parking stands there. So typically, what we tend to do is if you go off this view, click outwards, and then we can zoom right into the airport. It's not ideal, granted. So if we zoom right into the airport on this map, just let it load a second, then it'll give you a more detailed view of the airport. So we can't exit Charlie 2 because, as we know, there's a no entry sign there. But we can exit Charlie 4 and then backtrack ourselves, and then take ourselves on a stand one of these stands. But that's how you get a bit more of a detailed view in Navigraph. So yeah, we're pretty much set up ready for landing, to be fair. There's not much more we really need to do. So obviously we need to consider in 160 miles, I think it is, towards upper descent. So progress button here, report. That'll tell us now. So flight level 370, top of descent, 161 miles. So this is where we can start looking and see when actually is the first speed restriction. So Valencia, we want to be at flight level 280. And that only gives you 24 miles, so we're at 37,000 feet. So that's going to take us 111 miles to descend back to get ourselves there. To get ourselves to the ground, which is not going to give us enough, so it gives us 26 miles. But we can start descent a little bit earlier on, and then get a little bit of a better view. Obviously, we need to be a little bit cautious of the terrain. Chances are we'll probably go on to terrain radar on both screens when we get a bit closer, because obviously we need to be a little bit mindful for all the points going forward. There's been a fair few people online with us this evening. Certainly much appreciated. It'll be a little bit more interesting soon once we get ourselves on the ground. There we go. So there's no ATC on at the moment. I don't have my headphones on for a little while, but there's no aircraft near us to. Whereas a couple on the ground at Alicante. So it's a fairly, hopefully it should be a fairly smooth flight. Probably get rid of the seatbelt signs. No. Settle down a touch. So then we're just in Mount Posse now. So he wants us above flight level 100. So I think we need to probably be at flight level 200 overhead Valencia. So that's 160 miles away. Could start a steady descent, but I'd probably wait a little bit longer until we get a bit closer. We probably could go up to Mach 0.81 as well. We'll have a quick look at our fuel burn as well. So we've used about 50, well, we've used 17 minutes extra of fuel. Still an extra 1.5 tons of fuel at the moment. That's including time to our alternate destination plus the final 30 minutes as well. So we've got plenty of extra fuel on board. So next waypoint, and that's something we could look at now, is just see if there's any way we could probably go direct Valencia, to be fair. I don't know how much that'll actually give us in terms of, it gives us a little bit of a shortcut, won't it? Not by much, but just a tiny touch of a shortcut. Flat level. So it's at about 120 miles. We'll probably, about 80 miles further, we'll probably start at the sun. So for us to get, so it's going to take us about 30 miles. So if what we could do is we could put a point on the map. So over here we could put fix info. So it's VOC. Once in 150 miles, and then what we could do is we could do a, let's do a 40 miles radius, and that will roughly give us our nice descent point. So that's actually only 20 though, so maybe let's make that 80. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So it's going to A-beam as well. We don't really need an A-beam. Let's just try to clear that. But it won't let me clear that bit, but that's fine. So that will give us a nice little piece there. Don't know what I've done there, but yeah, let's do an 80-mile radius, which is 40 miles inbound. So just gives a little bit of ideal time. Then we can just see whereabouts we're heading that way. It's the same at Lille. We can also put a extended runway center line as well. So we could do a 080. Two degrees. So Lille 10, we can also fix one. No, don't want to. No, don't want to. Yeah, we don't need that. That's fine. We can go to the next page from that. So Lille runway 10. We can then do a 080 degree radial 270. There we go. Sure, that's about right. So 100 degrees there or thereabouts. Sorry, 280. So 280 degrees. That will give us basically an extended center line, and we'll just do it for 20 miles. That's as far as it needs to be, I think. Oh, sorry, I don't need 20 miles. That's just because there's a few loops there. We can follow that as we. It just gives that slightly different extended center line. so we can get rid of some of them margins, just because there's that slight bit of track then. We will go from there. Anyway, what I want to do is we want to keep an eye on, so we're going to be about, 30 miles, and then we'll start our descent. Initially down to flight level 200, and then we'll go down from there. There we go. Right. So there is a little bit of weather showing. Obviously, we're a little bit earlier in the day, so the weather actually may not be there, but no, there's no weather there at this time of day. So VLC, what we'll do is we'll do /200. So we've now put a restriction on flight level 200. In a minute now, we'll be there. So what we'll do, we'll dial down flight level 200. And then what we'll do initially, we'll go. I want to bring speed back. We'll go back to managed speed. Just let this drop back for a second, as we'll end up overspeeding. And what we could do is we could just go open descent. Just let this thrust come back to idle. And then it will just see whereabouts that's going to get us at flight level 200. It's just calculating that now by that blue arrow that you can see. So that tells you where it should establish it by. So yeah, that's where it thinks we'll be at, which is perfect for where we need to be. So what we'll do now, we can get rid of the VLC fix. Yeah, that's that all gone. So that's the extended center line, the blue line that's on the right hand side of the screen. And we will go from there. So an hour and 25 minutes we've been flying, and off stand we've been, what, 1 hour 37 minutes. So we've got no other controllers nearby now. So we're definitely all on our own. And like I say, we'll bring up the map so we can see whereabouts we need to be, especially for this turn, so we know exactly what altitude we need to be at. So 5,500 feet at 18 DME, And like I said, it's a fairly steep descent. Let's see how we go. So it is again a bit bumpy, nothing too drastic at the minute. Just keep an eye on it. I do quite like flying over land Spain though, it's a fairly nice place to fly. Level 200. Yeah, we'll be well in tune for that. In about 20 miles, so we'll be there. So we may get a little bit of a visual of Valencia if we're descending over the top. So Volanta has got us, so overhead, is it Rhymes? Rhymes? No, we're going to be pretty much overhead Valencia. We're literally going overhead the airport as well. So Valencia at VOY is literally straight overhead the airport. And then we'll be down into Alicante very shortly, so it's not very long now. Maybe another, how long? 17:25, so it literally lasts about 30 minutes now. And we'll be on the ground, hopefully, or in the sea. One of the two. It's not too bad because I don't do that many long flights, so this is probably the first long one of them for a while, to be fair. It can get a little bit boring, don't get me wrong. Depends on what you keep yourself entertained doing. Like I said, we're not far away now, we're only like 25 minutes or so. I'm going to start flying the procedure into Alicante, trying to avoid the terrain. But no, typically it's alright, to be honest. Depends on how many people are chatty as well on the channel. If you've got plenty of people chatting, time flies by, to be honest. The weather's been alright, to be fair, apart from that touch a little bit of turbulence, it's been okay. See how. Like I say, sometimes if the channel's not very busy, I'll go and do other things around the house anyway. Do all the boring tasks like fold some washing or something. Soon past the time. So yeah, this can be our last flight for over a week anyway. At least over a week. So I don't fly back until next Sunday morning, so. Ready for some sunshine. Yeah, it's fairly easy, so this controls the range on the monitor. This is to do with the plan this is the whole autopilot panel. This is the brains of the plane, and that's the joystick to control it. Fairly straightforward. Hey King, how are we doing? A fair few of you on this evening. So I'm just trying to catch up with chat to make sure I've not missed anyone's messages. They go roughly at our altitude now. So what we can do, now we're at this level, we can actually speed up a touch. So let's go to Mac. Let's see what. So we can actually speed ourselves up a touch. We've got the fuel to burn as well, so no, it's not the most economical, but we might as well. Then we can start slowing ourselves down again once we get to the next waypoint. Soon speed ourselves up. Obviously the air is less dense, so it means you can fly a little bit quicker. Actually, have a look at TikTok, just make sure it's all presenting properly. 7,300. Probably. Hey Vaughan, how we doing, mate? Long time no see. Hope you're well. Guessing it's early in the morning for yourself, isn't it? No, welcome, mate. Hope you're doing all right. And you've missed it, Vaughan, but so I've ordered myself an overhead panel. As much as poor as I'm feeling right now, it should be here hopefully at the end of October. Time it's been shipped. God knows how much the import customs tax is going to be, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, hopefully you're all good, mate. Yeah, it should be pretty good. I don't know if you've seen it, so it's from Jarviston. Let me see. I'll see if I get a link for you guys. You can have a look yourself. I'm trying to open the internet browser. It's literally open in front of me. So we'll see what I can find for you. So we're just overhead Valencia at the moment, and then we'll be descending ourselves. Let me try and find it. Here it is. Oh, have you literally just changed time zones? That's us at the end of the month. So the end of next month, that'll be us. Yeah, if you want to check this link out, that's the overhead that I've ordered. Yeah, feel free to check it out, mate, if you want. Oh, bless you. So yeah, so it's 9:30. So you're normally here a little bit earlier, aren't you? It's usually like 8:30. And I guess it's Sunday morning, so you had a bit of a lay-in as well. Like I said, we're over Valencia now, so we should see Valencia Airport literally straight in front of us. There we go. There it is. Just get a slight visual of it there. And then so we're going to track further west to Alicante. So 7,000 is the next restriction. So we can just get open descent for that, if you wish. Let's get open descent, flight level 70. We'll just see where that estimates us at being at 70 out. Probably want to be at 250 knots, or 270, that'll do. To be honest, we could just go managed. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there we go, -2. Let's do a -1,000. Nice steady descent then. Go back to AP1. So one thing we do need to do is we need to recheck the weather to make sure there's not been any significant changes since we've last done that. So like I say, back to the AT2 menu. There you see weather menu. So LAAL, Leo, weather request. Put it in the meta, yes. Wait for the message icon to pop up. But yeah, for those of you that are interested, so this is the overhead I've ordered. If those of you on TikTok want to check it out, you can do. There's a link there for you to check it out. We are going to be doing a review. I did get a little bit of money off. I did pay for it, but I did get a little bit of money off. Well, I say a little bit. I got $100 off, which is not too bad. So QNH is now 1018. So what we'll do is we will request the weather change here. So update 33 minutes ago. So let's jump over to the performance page again and to the approach. So we know now the QNH is now 1018 hectopascals. We know the temperature has dropped to a degree of 24 degrees, and the wind is now it says 000 knots. So what we could do, I'm just going to have a quick look on the other MCDU just to see what that meta definitely said. So yeah, it's 0 degrees and 0 knots. So it's literally calm. And now let's have a look at our. So the landing speeds actually come up by one. And as you can see, the barrow box has actually wiped itself. So you know when we put a barrow in there, 392. So we can pop that in there, and that would be why, because we haven't selected the approach. So now you'll see barrow sit there at 392. So that's our decision height for today. For those of you that don't really know. Yeah, feel free if you want to check out. It looks really cool. I don't know what anyone else's thoughts are on it, but it looks really cool. It should fit quite nicely as well. It's not. The problem is that, like, as much as I'd want one of the full size ones, it's not practical in here. Like I say, we've expanded the setup quite drastically anyway, but it's not currently practical. And then the next thing to buy will be another radio panel, because my Logitech one does not work at the moment. I have no idea why, but it doesn't work. So we're at 16,000 now. Not a million miles left to go. We could reduce that a touch actually. There we go, 1,000 feet. Gets us on the marker. Obviously we said we're going to select auto brake medium, so we can select that now. We're not going to arm the auto brake, the spoilers just yet, just until we've got ourselves nice and slow. So we'll have a quick look at speed restrictions as well. So I don't know if there is any specific speed restrictions for 200 knots initially, but we can just play that by ear and just steadily reduce the speed as we are over the terrain. So obviously if there's anything that does go wrong above the terrain, we'll be heading out towards Alicante, because that's where the lowest amount of terrain is. It's fairly flat there. But they say minimum safe altitude is 6,000 feet. At that point, sorry, minimum safe is, this is a peak of 4,000 feet. So we want to be a couple of thousand above, so yeah, about 6,000. So yeah, everyone, hopefully you're doing well, mate. Like I say, I presume it's Sunday morning where you are as well. There we go, right. Need to try and get rid of that really annoying line. We could do that. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Who knows what's going on there? Like I say, we've got all this high terrain that we're approaching. So we've got 35 miles, 7,000 feet. We will get the seatbelt signs on in a moment. And then get the PA as well, no doubt. Alicante traffic, channel X97 inbound Verlina, standing flight level 70. So just an answer. So he's not said anything of much interest for us. There's no one really around us, so traffic shouldn't be an issue.
Ladies and gentlemen, in preparation for landing, your captain has switched on the fasten seatbelt sign. At this time, please return to your seats and ensure your seatbelts are securely fastened. Tray table stowed, armrest down, and your window blinds fully open. Please discipline on short turnaround, security checks, and cleaning procedures of the aircraft. Please hand over any unwanted items to the crew as they pass through the cabin. It would be really appreciated by your onboard crew. If you could just have a look once again around the seat area to make sure there's no rubbish or empty left for the next passengers. We do expect to be landing shortly. Thank you.
Pretty good PA announcements, to be fair, for the. If you want to get any of the announcement packs, you can do. You can head over to our Discord, and they're all available there for you to download. They're not made by ourselves, though, just to point that out. So they're at 12,000 feet. Hopefully the weather will be okay. So we did have the seatbelts on with this cockpit, but it just doesn't feel quite. It does feel good, but it's just not as not very comfortable. There we go, there's the wind changing direction. So QNH 1019. So approach checklist Barrow 1019, seatbelts on minimums of 392, Barrow, water brake medium, engine mode selector is norm, landing lights can come on. So it's a little bit breezy all of a sudden. So 10,000 feet. Just make sure the wind's changed again. So variable at 2 knots. So let's just try and slow ourselves down a touch. Get a bit of spoilers out there. So I want to be 6,000 feet to level, well, 6,000, so 800 feet for the minute. Just bring that chart up as well so it's available for us to see. Hey Polly, how are we doing, mate? So we should be just coming into land shortly. So the airport's off to the left hand side. We're probably not going to get a visual just yet. So we just need to be a bit careful with this terrain. So we're about 10 miles or 8 miles or so just to get some spoilers away. There's some nice views out here though, that's one thing I will say. So we've got a 20 knots side wind at the moment. So 6,000 feet. So after landing, we can actually probably select our stand already. See if it will let me. So we'll go for stand number. Who knows? Stand wise, let's have a look. Let's have stand number 27. Yeah, we'll have Rhino on it. So we're just coming into view now. So 7,700. So as long as we're above that margin, that's the concern. So 6,000 feet, then we will go into the hundreds, 5,500. It is normal for us to get a few terrain warnings as well.
Okay, we're still prepared for approach.
Don't know where they're from. Alicante traffic, Channel 9730 miles from touchdown, ILS, runway 10. So yeah, a bit bumpy. Very bumpy. So 250 knots at the minute. Like I say, we'll start reducing that speed a touch in a second. So we'll go to 230 knots initially. We should slow down quite quickly though. We've got a nice headwind. Slow us down. Hopefully the approach isn't too drastic. So we'll enable the landing system as well, so we're roughly on course at the moment. We won't enable the ILS until we're at that 3,300 margin. So 5,500 feet is the next point. And 4,200 after that. There we go, 220 knots. So I've not got the runway in sight yet. It's for the left hand side of us. We'll consider flaps 1 in a minute. It's just jumping about a bit too much. So just hold off for a second. And we're going to have a slight tailwind. So flaps 1. So fuel's below 3 tons, that's fine, checked. guessing the sound's all working okay, guys. Is it? So it's only 4,200. So then, guys, let's get us down on the ground. So 4,200. So increase that rate of descent. We're going to get ourselves some spoilers out as well. Try and control that speed a touch. 3,300 for the RS. Bring speed back 180 knots. Great challenge AP1, AP2. Cat 3 dual. Blockstar. Flaps 2. This is going to be a bit of a rough old landing, this. So guys, hopefully you got some more sound. I've just realised the sound's not been very good on this. Oh, hello. Don't know what's just happened there. It's just froze for some reason. Wow, I've never had that happen before. This is not very ideal. So, apologies guys, I'm not sure what's going on here. I've not had this happen ever. So, let's go down. Flight sim's not responding. So guys, we'll see what happens. I do apologise. I'm not sure why this has happened and why it's froze. We'll just give it a second, see if it does anything. It may not. Probably it might do. Disappointing. Very, very disappointing. So guys, unfortunately, I think we might have to give it up as a bad job. Which is a bit of a shame, because we've done such a long flight. And then it's decided to freeze. The joy is of flight sim. So I'm not sure quite what's happened, but it's been absolutely fine the whole way through. Seems to be some of the audio settings that's messed it up. So I do apologise guys. Hopefully I don't think we're going to be able to recover it from this position, which is a big shame. But thank you very much for watching guys, and we will see you again in another video. Oh, hello, what's happened there? Yeah, so V-pilots kicked me out to sea because this is frozen. So yeah, apologies guys, thank you very much for watching though, and appreciate all your likes and your comments. Hopefully we'll see you again shortly with another video. Take care, bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for waiting. We would now like to continue boarding for all economy class